All right, welcome to Abuja today on AGTV. My name is Robo Danlami. With me today, Honorable Musa Diko, SA to the Honorable Minister of FCT on Community Relation and the former Chairman of Buhari Area Council. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
What plan does FCTA have to address issues like this? For example, issue of access to road, poor electricity supply. We have issues around primary health care. Some of the primary health care are not functional, are not properly equipped. And we have issues within the city centers, like street lights. You go to places within the city center in the night, the street lights are not working. Even the express road, the street lights are not working. What plan does the FCTA have in order to address issues of infrastructural deficit within the FCT? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my brother. I think I will first and foremost commend your effort in finding a way to inform the people of the FCT about the happenings within their environments,
Yes.
particularly the satellite towns.
Yes.
As a former chairman of Buhari Area Council and privileged today to be an SA to the Honorable Minister of the FCT on Community Relations, I am speaking in that direction as somebody that has served as executive chairman of a local government.
Yes. We should be on the know-how
And privileged
of what is happening.
to now be at the FCT level. I did not seek for permission to be here from my boss,
Okay.
but having given me the assignment of being part of his assistance, I really want to commend the FCT administration on the provision of infrastructures within the capital city and the satellite towns. And I will be using my year of service as council chairman to say why I am commending the FCT administration.
Okay.
While I was serving between 2016 to 2019, I had opportunity of presenting to the FCT administration through the Satellite and Development Department some problems of Buhari Area Council. I'm using Buhari Area Council as an example.
Okay.
Particularly the road infrastructure.
Okay.
And within that short period, the FCT administration was handy to attend to these infrastructures.
Okay.
And I will tell you, from the Nigerian Law School, Buhari, through Kuchuko to New Buhari, that was Buhari Area Council recommendation to FCT administration.
Okay.
And that road was attended to promptly. Coming down to Kubwa axis, there are various roads that were attended to by the FCT administration. And gladly, the major one linking Sokale through F01 to the train station, presently as I talk to you, is being reconnected. The bridge is being constructed to connect those axes. I am giving you proof of what has made me to commend the FCT administration.
Okay.
And I know that in other area councils, take example for Kuje Area Council. I know there is a road from Rubochi crossing down to the road that links Abaji.
Yes.
The FCT administration also has been on it.
Okay.
Most recently, the road linking Mpape axis now to Shere Galwi is under construction.
Okay.
And we all know that for so many years ago, attempts have been made to keep that road constructed. Today, it is being done.
Okay.
Within the city center, you could cite one or two roads that are undergoing construction to be completed. Of course, it will be said the FCTA administration has not done much, but we also need to understand that the FCT infrastructures are overstretched because of the present predicament, the Nigerian situation, as it affects the security of life and property within the Nigerian states.
Okay.
Majority of our brothers and sisters from particularly the Northeast, the Northwest today, find the FCT as a heaven, and they are relocating per minute, per hour, per day, per week to the FCT. Therefore,
there's so much pressure.
There's so much pressure on the infrastructure that are being in place in the FCT.
Okay.
And maintenance is a major problem.
Okay.
So I want to commend the FCT administration on what they are doing, and to ask that the people only need to be sensitized to understand the impact of FCT administration when it comes to infrastructure development. I'm very sure that by the grace of God, before this administration winds up, the major city roads would have been completed. Okay. You can see what is happening in Abuja Road today.
We had a report from Gishiri around Nikon Junction.
Yes.
The road is so bad.
Yes.
In fact, we had to visit the community. At any time there is rain in that community, it is disheartening. We have issue around Kuchigoro where a developer is almost blocking access road to the community. In issues like this, how do we tackle them? If a community within the city center do not have good access road, and we have thousands of people living in this community, and sometimes you hear a developer telling the community dwellers that this land was allocated to him some years ago and all that. Sometimes we begin to ask, the business of developers, is it more than, or is it more important than the people, the community dwellers? How do we tackle issues like this?
You see, again, we need to understand that communities like Gishiri, Mabushi, Kuchugoro, Karomajigi, Jabi,
yes,
Utako, and the rest of them,
yes,
are already a problem to both the people and the government. Because initially, the FCT was supposed to have been kind of been a place where we have no indigenous persons from the creation of the FCT.
Yes.
But there along the line, by divine intervention, the indigenous persons were left to stay where they are. But unfortunately, the government, as at then, never took into cognizance of redesigning these communities to suit the present master plan. And yet, you will bear me witness that an attempt was made by, I think, El-Rufai administration to redesign the master plan.
Yes.
It is unfortunate that up to date, the FCT master plan has not actually been redesigned to accommodate the indigenous persons and their way of life.
And then you go to this community, you discover that people are choco. There is no land to expand. People can no longer build their houses and all that.
That is what I'm trying to make you understand. That because the FCT, particularly the city center, has not been redesigned to accommodate the indigenous persons that the Constitution has allowed to stay. Today we are affected by this development. And of course, attempts have been made to resettle some of these communities. But I think over time, because of lack of adequate funds, it has not been possible. And also the attempt by government to see how they could integrate the communities also has led us to having some of these issues.
So the issue of integration.
However, the infrastructure development within these communities can be taken up by the local councils.
Okay.
That is the area councils.
Okay.
Pending when the FCTA administration will have a standard plan for either resettling these indigenous communities or giving them full integration into the master plan of the FCT, particularly within the city center.
We still have cases of demolition around these communities. And if this master plan is not available yet to accommodate or integrate the indigenous people, why the demolition? Sometimes we hear communities complaining demolition is being carried out without prior notice to the indigenous people. Why the demolition? Since the integration or resettlement has not been done properly yet.
You know, at every given opportunity, every human being will want to utilize it maximally. The fact that we are indigenous communities, it does not exempt us from rules and regulations, from policies of government. But sometimes, some of us, not all, some of us, take advantage of the fact that we are left as we were in the 70s. We can go ahead to do some of these things.
Okay.
And unfortunately, again, some of our brothers that we accommodate from various states, when you give them a 10-meter space to stay, they go beyond 10 meter to 30 meter. And before you know it, you have encroached into where government should have full control. Okay. Or you have encroached into where your brother is supposed to habit and not you. So in this instance, most times, even among the community members, come forward to the government to say, I can no longer control where I am staying. Because some persons have come to encroach into such areas that I was, or I am, and it is not conducive for me. Okay. We want you to come and help us. And of course, the moment you invite government to come and help, the government will want to play to the rules of the game. And in playing to the rules of the game, it affects almost everybody.
All right. So we want to look at the security situation. Yes, it's a general problem within the entire country. But then FCT happens to be like a safe zone that people run to. But we have cases where insecurity threat has become an issue, a major issue within the FCT, especially the satellite towns. We have cases of kidnapping, especially Bari Area Council, Kuje Area Council, Rubochi Aziz. Consistently, people are being kidnapped. And in fact, I think a few months ago, the sitting chairman of Bari Area Council, his father was kidnapped. The issue of this insecurity, what plan does FCTA have in order to arrest this situation? Is there any plan or is there any collaboration with the security agency and also the community leaders to ensure that FCT is a safe place for all?
Well, I'm happy that we have all agreed that security is everybody's business. Okay. My own question should be, what are we all doing to arrest this situation that we are all faced with, security-wise? And I will still cite my short time as council chairman. I think to be able to combat this menace or reduce it to the barest minimum, everybody must be involved, particularly from our local communities. And I remember telling my traditional rulers then that, look, every subject that is under you, you must watch over that subject. Where is he coming from? What does he do in your community? If he's coming to rent or to hire or to acquire a land or a property in your area, who is he? Where is he coming from? Who are his relations? Unfortunately, today, this thing does not exist in our communities again. Okay. So why I'm generalizing it is that we need to start all over again. Okay. Let our communities be what they used to be in those days. Okay. Our community leaders should be empowered by the local councils to ensure that every chief or district head or a class chief has at least the authority from the local council chairman that, look, you have every powers to suspect, to report, if possible, apprehend and hand over to relevant security agencies who you think you cannot vouch for in your own community.
Has there been any collaboration from the FCTA and the area council chairman in this regard?
Of course, the area council is a government on its own. It's a third tier of government.
Okay.
All you need to do as local council chairman is to ensure that relevant policies that are within your confine are attended to and applied.
Okay.
And now reporting back to the FCTA administration the challenges you either suspect or anticipate or you are saying. And that is the only way we can do it. And the local council chairman cannot do it all alone. He needs his traditional ruler from Yangwa to the Dekechi, to the district head, to the class chief. He needs them to be able to get information that are relevant for him to forward to the council, to the FCTA administration. That look, I have these challenges that I cannot combat alone. We need to collaborate. So and I can tell you that that collaboration is going on.
Okay.
It is unfortunate that even the security apparatus are overstretched.
Okay.
Because is it Kuje area council? Is it Buari area council you have to battle with?
Abaji.
Is it Gwagwalada you have to battle with? Is it Abaji? So I'm calling on every one of us now to collaborate and complement the effort of the FCT administration in ensuring that this crime is reduced. But most importantly, I must be in charge of my house. My village head must be in charge of his community. We must not leave it all alone for
the government. So
the village chief is not the policeman. The village chief is not the military man. He's not the civil defense. But he has every right to bring these informations to the coffers of government proper and see what next will be done. But when the FCTA administration is not well informed about what is happening within our satellite town, if we harbor crime, the FCTA administration will do less than what we expect of them. For instance, you did talk about street lights going off and on, particularly at night. Let me give you one of my experience. Somewhere within the city center, I was driving at night. And behold, I saw a man standing by the pole. I thought he was just maybe either passing or doing something. I couldn't note very well what he was doing. But then my attention came back to that same man. And I looked through my mirror. That pole he was standing by, the light went off.
Okay. So
and I made a U-turn. I made a U-turn. And I returned to that point. Immediately I returned to that point, I saw that man was attempting to remove one of the things that made that pole light to go off. So by the time I matched my brake and horn, the man knew I was conscious of. He picked race with his little bag. So these are some of the challenges I have seen with my two eyes that the FCT administration is suffering in providing adequate street lights and traffic lights for the people of the FCT and Nigeria as a whole. So these elements that are detrimental to progress are actually hampering the success of FCT administration in providing security lights and traffic lights.
And those people need to be fetched out.
And the people need to be fetched out. And how do we do it? These people come from satellite towns. The actual Bababola sometimes could not be the ones perpetrating these acts. But some other persons hide under the Bababolas. You could also see them with bags. You could also see them with wheelbarrows, pushing,
dangerous weapons,
thinking they are not actual Bababolas. They are people that tamper with these infrastructures at night. Even on the pedestrian lane of some bridges, you could see those rails that are laid. Ask yourself, what has removed this thing? They are not movable. But human beings have gone to remove them for their own use somewhere. So all we need is to be more vigilant and let us report appropriately when we see things of this nature. Yes.
Generally, security situation within the FCT is a collective responsibility.
Definitely.
All hands must be on deck.
Definitely.
If we must live in peace within the FCT and other parts of the country. Before my last question, let's take a short break. All right, welcome back. Still with me, Honorable Musa Diko, SA to the Honorable Minister of FCT on Community Relations. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Lastly, what is your message to the community leaders?
Like I've always said, the area councils have a very big role to play
Okay.
in ensuring that the community leaders within their area councils are well equipped, sensitized, informed on the needs to protect every government infrastructure, the way they will protect their subjects, the way they will protect their wives, not to be taken away from them. They should be able to protect every government infrastructure in that manner. Because they are provided for our use.
Yes.
They are not provided for the use by the FCT minister. The FCT minister resides in Life Camp, and he goes to his office at 11. Probably when he leaves in the morning, he comes back in the evening. He does not come to Kau. He does not come to Tungamaji. He does not go to Ajana and the rest of them. We are the ones at the community level that will enjoy these infrastructures if they are protected.
Okay.
And security-wise, the FCT minister, by the grace of God, no hoodlum, no bandit, no kidnapper will come into Area 11 and pick him. But the person in the outskirts is prone to this menace because he is not well protected.
Yes.
So my message to the community is that we should look out to those we are not comfortable with in our communities, no matter the benefit they are bringing. As far as we're not comfortable with their activities, let us report them. Even if he is your son, report that your son appropriately to the government officials to ensure that he is checked. If we fear or we kind of look at a situation where if I report my son, people will say I reported my son, then blame yourself the day you are kidnapped.
Criminals.
Blame yourself the day you are kidnapped.
Yes.
If you harbor your brother or your friend who is involved in crime, in giving information, even to the criminals out there, if you don't report them, blame yourself the day your wife is taken. Blame yourself the day your son is taken. Because these people are living with us. Unfortunately, even within the indigenous communities, some indigenous persons today have got involved in serving as informants to these criminals. I always tell people that, look, it will be difficult for any armed robber from Lagos State to come to my house, burgle into my house, and steal properties of my house without an insider. Who is that an insider? Is either the security man at my gate, is either my brother, my sister, or friends that come to that house that must have passed information out.
Of the compound.
So we must live suspecting each other these days, like the DSS does. They hardly trust each other. So we should hardly trust ourselves now because of the present situation where even God has said time will come like this, where money will be everything. For the sake of money, you collaborate for your brother to be kidnapped because you want to get millions of naira. Well, I give thanks to God because he said at the end of it all, he will account for what you have done. So my message to the community leaders is to keep watch on those we have accommodated as brothers, as friends,
coming criminals.
They might likely be. And some of them are. And that is why we're in this mess.
Yes.
The last episode in Buhari Area Council, which happens to involve one of my younger brother, I from what we are suspecting, and we're still finding way to get to the root of those things,
that was an insider.
So our prayer is that God will help us to fish him out.
Amen.
And report him appropriately so that others too can be saved.
Yes.
The FCT, 75% of it is being administered by the indigenous persons.
Okay.
Check the 6 area council chairman. They are indigenous persons. The National Assembly members, they are indigenous persons. So I think we also have a very big role to play as indigenes of the Federal Capital Territory to ensure that we collaborate properly with the government to check this problem that is now kind of overwhelming everybody in the FCT.
Mm.
Otherwise, in the very shortest time to come, we might not have the opportunity of being where we are today.
Mm.
Yes.
We pray that it doesn't get to
Amen.
that.
Amen.
Pray that it doesn't get to that. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thank
We'll
you.
be looking up to having you subsequently in our subsequent episodes. Thank you very much for
You're welcome.
coming. Thank you very much for staying with us as you invest your time with us. Continue to collaborate with us, businesses, adverts, and the rest of them. Follow us on our social media handle, Facebook and YouTube, Agbadisha TV. We will not disappoint you. Keep them.